Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to, yes, IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life. If you're watching us and you're new, just grab your smartphone and launch your camera app for me. Point over the QR code, touch the yellow ellipse once you point it there. And if you're not watching, but you're listening to us on the podcast, then just go to Believe, Believe, me, M-E, Achieve, ACHIEVE.com. All right, we got lots to share with you tonight. But first, I want to thank you guys for popping in. Hopefully, you guys had a great holiday, good Easter, good Passover, whatever you celebrate, Ramadan, whatever it is. Happy, healthy to everyone. And do want to thank you for making us a part of your life. And so I also want to thank those of you that are coming back, friends, colleagues, associates supporting us. Thank you so much for making IFYL, again, part of your life. And I want to thank all those people that watch the replays. 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 12 midnight, 12 noon, 6 a.m., 6 p.m., whatever time you watch. Thank you so much for tuning in every single day and making Inspirations for Your Life a part of your life. All right, let's get right into the master topic, shall we? Here we go, everyone. We're talking about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. We are on series number 2. We're on show 15, and we're on episode number 4. Wow, that's pretty amazing. And so we're going to talk a little bit today. By the way, the series 2 means we're in year 2, if you guys didn't know that. And so when we're thinking about, motivation, I want to talk about the types of extrinsic motivation. Okay, and so extrinsic motivation has several different types. Thanks so much for the like, Daniel. Extrinsic motivation breaks down into regulation, introjected regulation, regulation through identification, and integrated regulation. Wow, say those things a few times fast. All right, so we know that the goal is really in the intrinsic world, not the extrinsic world. We've always known that, right? But a lot of people think that it is in the material world, and not that you can't have material things, but you got to be based in yourself first. So external regulation, it's like a behavior inside of ourselves or activity, but it's controlled by external sources or factors. Maybe we see somebody telling another about the reward they're going to get when they actually study and get good grades, right? Intentionally, you do the studying as you want to, but mostly you're studying because you're controlled by the reward that is waiting for you. Like, when you get this, you're going to get a great grade, or when you get this, you're going to get an allowance or a bigger allowance. So that's how that works. Introjected regulation. You do it under internal pressure, maybe due to a false ego, self-esteem issue, guilt, worry, peer application, approval, validation, etc. People do it under all sorts of reasons, not because they want to. People know that they have chosen it intentionally to do it, yet it's not a choice that they have really brought upon themselves. So that's important. There is regulation through identification. It's a positive side of extrinsic motivation. It's like people do things by believing in goodwill, right? For example, you consider a student, you consider an accolade. The student will have a conscious decision to go to college. It's like a self-selected goal. It motivates them to study hard and get good grades. They do it intentionally, but with an external motivating factor. They don't do it just because they want to learn. The big difference is I want to go to college is different than I want to go to college, as everyone's going is different. Let me say that again. I want to go to college is different than I want to go to college as everyone's going is different. The former is a regulation through an identification. Well, I guess I have to act this way in society because everyone else is acting this way. Yeah, so I'll just become a drone. All right, integrated regulation. It's a wonderful type of motivation, and the person will self-reflect and understand the reason if it matches their values and needs. and then they'll take action. But ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, most people I talk to just believe in extrinsic motivation. And there's nothing wrong in it, but I am a big proponent that we have to work on ourselves first, the inside first, right? There's so much that we can learn, that we can gravitate from when we learn about our insides. I mean, I think that is something that is really pretty cool. And so motivation in itself can get, I don't know, like this tail that we're chasing. It keeps going around faster and faster and faster and faster. And finally, we keep chasing it. And then the tail just takes off. And like, I can't. You were chasing that tail or chasing a dog, whatever it was. You were chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing. It's like, I just got it. I got it. And then I can't. Not because you don't believe you can. You physically collapse. That's not good, ladies and gentlemen, right? That's not good. So we need to tie intrinsic motivation to an extrinsic motivation, but we don't want to necessarily only have extrinsic motivation. So let's say this again. Intrinsic is the things we feel, the things that happen inside our bodies, okay, our minds. Extrinsic motivation are the things that happen outside of our mind and bodies. Extrinsic motivation, I'm doing this because I want the house to look nice. I'm doing this because I want to get the praise. Now, that's different than I want to feel the praise. I want to hear the praise. I want to get the pat on my back. See, that's different than intrinsic. I'm doing it because I want to feel the praise. That's different. All right. And when we start to understand that there's a difference, it's like, wow, how did we miss that? How did we not get the fact that these are different things, right? They're different things. So when we think about the types of extrinsic motivation, external, introjected, regulation, through identification, right? And then integrated regulation. Let's go through those again. So number one is external regulation. It's basically an intentional behavior activity, but controlled by an external source or factor, right? Introjected regulation, you do it under internal pressure, and it could be due to a false ego or self-esteem or guilt or worry or something like that. Regulation through identification is a positive side, but it's like people do things by believing in goodwill. And the fourth one, it's a wonderful type of motivation. The person will self-reflect, understand the reasons, see if it matches their values and needs. Finally, they take action if it does. So it's a confident decision, and the individual runs through all the options and external factors, and that is what influences them. Pretty cool, right? But a lot of people, they still operate with the stick and the carrot. And people for years have been motivated by the stick and the carrot. I mean, that's just how they've been. They've been motivated like that. And so if we're always chasing a carrot, we're always chasing a stick, we're always chasing that tail, maybe that stick, maybe that carrot's not going to be there, or maybe it's going to change on us. And when it changes, we might have changed. So that's why it's always good to have intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, because the two of them are going to propel you toward the same goal, internally and externally. Now, what happens if you say, all right, I want to achieve this goal, all right, and the Joneses are doing it, so I'm going to do it. That's extrinsic motivation, right? More specifically, ladies and gentlemen, do you know which rule that is? That would be external regulation. We see someone else saying to do something and they're going to get a reward. And after they get those rewards and you see that, now you're going to want to do the same thing. All right. But motivation is not something we just do when we stop. It's a continual process in our life. That's right. It's kind of like people that go on a diet, right? You're not on a diet, you're on a lifestyle change. Anyone that goes on a diet never loses weight because they put it back on. When we say there's a lifestyle change, it's like, oh, I get it now. I see what it is. But a lot of people don't understand that. Not because they're not smart or anything like that. No, it's because they get hooked into the culture of society. And they feel that if they operate like the hamster on the wheel and they keep doing these things, well, then that must mean that I'm going to get it too. Let's take an analogy. You are working really hard, okay? But you don't get any sales. Someone else is working hard and they're getting sales. In fact, you're putting in more effort than they are and you're getting 0 sales. Why? Because it's more than just the effort. It's the process and the procedure. And when we learn what is able to bring us a desired outcome, we keep reinforcing and repeating it. If we know that eating a certain food helps us lose weight or helps us burn calories, we're going to keep eating that food, aren't we? We're going to keep eating that food. And so by eating that food, it's like we understand, but we don't necessarily get it. Does that make sense to you guys? We understand, but we don't quite align ourselves. We don't align ourselves. And because we don't align ourselves, we miss the goal. We either go alongside it, we go over it, we go under it, we go around it. We completely miss it. So anytime you set a goal, intrinsic, extrinsic, and it always should be both, we have to make sure that our goal is on track with the efforts we're putting in. If we don't put the right effort in, even if we put a lot of hard effort in, but we're not sure if that's going to yield a result yet, and then we're like, oh, I did this and it didn't work. That's why we always have to make sure we measure our goal and measure where we're at. Because if we can't measure it, then where are we going in life, right? So we learned something very valuable today. We learned the 4 different types of extrinsic motivation: regulation, introjected regulation, regulation through identification, and integrated regulation. Now that sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But you do this every single day. You do this every single day. And when we equate ourselves to be like the Joneses, for example, okay, and we self-reflect, okay, that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be us identifying with it. I've always said this before. If we identify with something, it becomes part of us. If we don't identify, it detaches from us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, been a pleasure, been an honor to be with you this fantastic, amazing Tuesday, April 11th. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel. Definitely comment below. Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. Of course, go to my YouTube channel, John space E space Morley space serial entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. click on the PayPal button and make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or a savory plate of a delicious dessert. Either way, we're going to be grateful for those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, impactful content to change your life. Are you ready to improve your life? I am. We're here to get better, one day at a time, just getting a little bit better each day. Have yourself a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be well, everyone.